Ladies and gentlemen, the judge has just ruled about whether or not DA Fani Willis can remain on the case, whether or not she's disqualified. And let me tell you, I am disappointed. Right here, just in Fulton County, DA Fani Willis' case against Trump can continue if she or special prosecutor Wade remove themselves, judge rules. This is not good, guys. I don't know why the judge is ruling this way. I don't know what evidence he saw that would justify this, because I think a lot of you are just like me. You have followed this very carefully, and there was just an astounding amount of evidence to show that Fani Willis perjured herself. She lied on stand. Nathan Wade perjured himself. He lied on stand. Terrence Bradley lied on stand, perjured himself. To allow people like that to continue in this case against Donald Trump, in my opinion, is a total miscarriage of justice. Let's look at this. Atlanta, a Georgia ruled Friday, that's today, that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis should not be disqualified from prosecuting racketeering case against former President Donald Trump and several co-defendants with one major condition. I mean, come on. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Fani Willis is never going to recuse herself from this case. The only thing that would ever happen is Nathan Wade would, go away. But, I mean, Fani Willis's actions during this entire evidentiary hearing were just completely improper. And for the judge to allow that DA to continue this, I think, is just a massive mistake by Judge Scott McAfee. You guys are right. I had a lot of faith in him. But wow, what a major disappointment. But Fulton County Superior Judge Scott McAfee found the appearance of impropriety brought about by Willis's romantic relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade should result in either Willis and her office leaving the case or just Wade. That would be the result. It's not going to be Willis. Willis will never leave the case. Who she'd appointed to head the case. The choice is likely to be an easy one. If Willis were to remove herself, the case would come to a halt, but having Wade leave will ensure the case continues without further delay. The judge also found there was no actual conflict brought about by the relationship. How did he find that? Come on. A finding that would have required Willis to be disqualified. Quote, without sufficient evidence that the district attorney acquired a personal stake in the prosecution or that her financial arrangements had any impact on the case, the defendant's claim of an actual conflict must be denied, the judge wrote. Wow. This is mind-blowing, guys. What do you think about this? Quote, this finding is by no means an indication that the court condones this tremendous lapse in judgment or the unprofessional manner of the district attorney's testimony during the evidentiary hearing. Rather, it is the undersigned's opinion that Georgia law does not permit the finding of an actual conflict or for simply making bad choices, even repeatedly, and it is the trials court's duty to confine itself to the relevant issues in applicable law properly brought before it, he added. The judge did, however, also find the prosecution is encumbered by an appearance of impropriety. As the case moves forward, reasonable members of the public could easily be left to wonder whether the financial exchanges have continued resulting in some form of benefit to the district attorney, or even whether the romantic relationship has resumed, he wrote. As long as Wade remains on the case, this unnecessary perception will persist. The decision is a partial victory for Willis and leaves open the possibility the case could be tried before the 2024 presidential election. Had Willis been disqualified outright, the case would have had to go to a different prosecutor who would be tasked with catching up on a case that Willis spent over 2 years building. And she didn't build much of a case, though, because judge ruled that 6 of the counts would be thrown out because she wasn't specific enough. So, I mean, Fani Willis, I guess we can be happy for one thing. She is not very competent in building this case. So I guess that's a W, a win for Donald Trump in this case. But the ruling by McAfee comes after one of Trump's co-defendants in the election interference case, former Trump White House and campaign staffer Michael Roman, filed a motion for Willis to be disqualified and the criminal case to be dismissed because of her allegedly improper personal relationship with Wade. We're here today, this is a quote by Roman's attorney, we're here today on this motion to disqualify DA Willis and her office because of her judgment, frankly, Roman's attorney John Merchant told the judge during the March 1st arguments on the motion. Roman alleged Willis skirted the rules to appoint Wade and she benefited financially from his appointment, which has earned his office over $600,000 to date. Yeah, $600,000 that was supposed to go to a backlog of cases that happened during COVID, but instead, Fani Willis took money that was appropriated for something else, which her office seems to do all the time, and gave it to her boyfriend, Nathan Wade. What about that, Judge? What about that? Willis and Wade later acknowledged they'd been in a relationship, but maintained it began after he was appointed special counsel in November 2021, not before. Yeah. And there was a multitude of evidence that showed that they lied. Cell phone data, witnesses, there was all sort. I mean, the text message that Terrence Bradley sent to Ashley Merchant that he later denied, and he said that he was speculating, but the problem was the words that he used in the text message were not speculative whatsoever. Adam Abante of the DA's office told the judge that Willis had not benefited financially from the appointment and had been the target of a campaign to, quote, impugn her reputation. He said Roman Trump and the other co-defendants in the case had made material misrepresentations about the strength of their evidence, and he urged McAfee to deny the disqualification motion. The judge signed off on an evidentiary hearing on Roman's claims last month and said, quote, disqualification can occur if evidence is produced demonstrating an actual conflict or the appearance of one. Quote, because I think it's possible that the facts alleged by the defendant could result in disqualification, I think an evidentiary hearing must occur to establish the record of those core allegations, he added. In an extraordinary hearing that stretched over 3 days during a 2-week period, Willis and Wade both took the stand and testified that they dated for a little over a year after he was appointed and that she did not profit from his work. They both said that while Wade would sometimes charge plane tickets for Willis to his credit card, she'd repay him with cash by picking up other bills. Yeah, that was one of the most fishy things in this evidentiary hearing. There was no receipts, no paper trail. Everything that she paid back to Wade, or she claimed she paid back to Wade, was in cash. Why do you think that is? Why do you think she is saying that she's using cash? Because there's no paper trail. Do you think for a second that she paid Nathan Wade back for these trips and all these expensive things that he bought her? Absolutely not. I don't believe that for a second. That's fishy as hell. But lawyers for Roman, meanwhile, brought in a waitress, a former friend of Willis named Robin Yurdy, who testified that the couple had started seeing each other well before Wade was appointed special prosecutor. They then attempted to corroborate her story with testimony from Wade's former divorce lawyer and law partner. This was Terrence Bradley. The attorney Terrence Bradley had told another of Roman's lawyers in a text message that Wade and Willis had, quote, absolutely started dating before the appointment. On the witness stand, Bradley initially refused to answer questions because Wade had asserted his attorney-client privilege. McAfee later ruled that Bradley could be asked about the text messages, at which point he testified he was unaware when they started dating and said he had been speculating with Roman's lawyer. Yeah, it was a complete lie on stand. The judge knows it. Everybody knows it because he was not speculating when he sent that text message to Ashley Merchant. He said they absolutely started dating before Nathan Wade was hired as special prosecutor. It was not speculative. Everyone knew he was lying. But Trump's attorney Steve Sadow asked Bradley why he would speculate about such a thing in a text message to a lawyer for a defendant in the case. And Terrence said, quote, I have no answer for that. Why wouldn't you have said, I don't know, Sadow pressed. Yeah, why wouldn't, if he was speculating, he could have been like, I don't know, but, something like that. Those are speculating words. Bradley offered information just by himself, and he said they absolutely started dating, and he had a very specific time and date at a specific event when they became romantic. But Bradley said, I don't know. Maybe it's because you know what the truth is, Sadow said. Both Trump and Roman have pleaded not guilty in the case, which alleges they conspired with others to overturn the election results in the state. Guys, I am just absolutely outraged about the results of this disqualification hearing. Yeah, I think this is terrible. I think this is a terrible look for the justice system, and especially Fulton County. I mean, I thought this judge was he seemed like he was being fair. He seemed like he was leaning towards disqualification. But now he's trying to find a middle ground that keeps both sides happy. No. I think this is politics. He says he was not ruling based off of politics. I think this is politics. I think there's a lot of people. I think Fani Willis has a stronghold in Fulton County by a lot of people. I really do. And I think that the judge has to look at that and realize that his days are numbered if he rules against Fani Willis, or potentially. But I'm really hoping that his days are numbered now that he made this clearly big mistake for not ruling that Fani Willis should be disqualified. Because how can they trust the justice system in Fulton County now? With Fani Willis, this deranged, crazy, loony district attorney with all this power, just able to do these things, basically do whatever she wants. She's able to date her special prosecutor, pay him money that was supposed to be allocated for a backlog of COVID cases, and lie on stand, perjure herself. It's absolutely insanity what's going on there. I hope something changes here. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.